This is a video for the combined jointer thicknesser. This one happens to be the Scheppach HMS 1080, but this is a Chinese-made machine really, and you can find different ones that are exactly the same or very similar, sold under a lot of different brand names. And so what I say about this one, I think will apply to most of these machines in this configuration. This is not an unboxing video. I already had this machine for a year and I've used it extensively. And I would like to share the experience I had with it. This is what the mechanical drivetrain of the whole machine looks like. And why I'm showing you this is because I had this rubber belt go bad on me after when the machine was new and it had like 1 hour of use on it. This belt gave way. I had it exchanged, and since then it has been working fine. Although when you are running thicker boards, the feed mechanism is kind of slipping and doesn't have enough power to push the wood through. But all in all, the belt might have been exclusive to my one machine, and perhaps this is not a widespread issue. One thing you need to know about this, that you cannot run this without any chip extraction. You need at least something. The good news is that I found that using a shop-vac just like this one is completely sufficient. The only problem is that most of these machines have the extraction hole is large, and your shop-vac has a small nozzle. So I just fashioned an adapter out of wood, and this really, it works just fine. This particular machine had here inside kind of a mesh, and it was clogging up terribly, so I just cut that out with a chisel. And basically on the chip extraction front, shop-vac with this works just fine. The only problem is that this produces a lot of wood shavings, and a shop-vac like this one will fill up really quickly. I mean, like perhaps, I don't know, 15-20 minutes working on this machine and this is full. So when you are using this machine a lot, I think it's a great idea to get one of these cyclone separators. You can find them everywhere on YouTube, where people explain what they are and how they are used, and use it as a stage before the vacuum so it doesn't clog up so fast. I myself am planning on building one of these, but haven't got to it yet. If you are planning on buying one of these shop-vacs, I highly recommend getting one that has this outlet where you plug your machine, and then when you turn on your machine, it will automatically turn on the vacuum, and when you turn off the machine, the vacuum will run for 2 or 3 more seconds, and it will turn off as well. It saves a lot of time. You don't have to turn on and off the vacuum separately, and it's great. I'm loving the socket. Be sure, if you don't have a shop-vac and you're thinking about getting one, to include this feature. It's great. This is how the fence is secured to the machine. It has no positive stops, and the only way to fine adjust it is this screw, which is not really precise. The whole construction is not very strong, and because you have to remove this and put it back on every time you switch the modes, you will kind of lose the square. So I think this is the weakest point of the whole machine, is this fence. The weaknesses of the machine really start to show where the workpiece is quite long. The infeed and outfeed table are not so big, and the machine itself is quite light, which is a good thing because you can move it around. But it's a bad thing because when you put a bigger piece on it, it's not stable enough. So I will try to demonstrate. I've got a beam of wood that it's 2 meters long, you know, and I will try to first joint it and then thickness it, and you will see what it takes. It's not ideal, it can be done, but you will see, and I will show everything where I'm struggling and all. So, as you could see, I could join this, but the result is less than ideal. Here it's kind of slanted because you cannot hold it right. You are really limited by the length of the infit and outfit table. It would also be great to have some kind of a support which would help you, support the piece as you are pushing it out. It can be done, but you gotta see that this is really a hobby machine made for smaller pieces. I will now try to demonstrate squaring the piece now. It will be again very difficult because it's a long and heavy piece. The squaring guide is kind of flimsy, and what you will see later, it needs to be removed and attached back when you are switching from the jointer to the thicknesser, and so it kind of constantly losing its square, so it's a very rough. But again, I will demonstrate on this larger piece. When you have something smaller, obviously these issues are also kind of they don't show as much. So as you could see, you can square this. The result will not be perfect because, as I can set, the guide is kind of flimsy, and when the piece is bigger like this one, perhaps you'd get a bit better result if you had some kind of a support. I don't have that, so it's kind of a juggling with the piece. And what I will demonstrate now, because now I want to thickness this, and I will need to change the molds of the machine, and that's really the biggest hassle, because it does take quite some time, and it's kind of annoying when you forgot to join something and you have it in the thicknesser mold. You kind of have to switch around. You have to remove the guide when you are doing it. So now I will demonstrate what it takes to switch the machine from the jointer mold to the thicknessing mold. machine comes with this safety guard. It goes like this, but it's very flimsy. It goes kind of in the way when you are switching the modes between the jointer and the thicknesser, and it was so much hassle that I just ended up throwing it away and not using it. It's not ideal, but that's what it is. Really, I found it very difficult to use the machine with the safety guard on it. We have the machine reconfigured in the thicknessing mode. For this, I found out it's really good to lubricate the surfaces, so the machine has a kind of easier time pulling the wood through. There's professional products sold for that. I just use a regular white wax candle, which I just kind of scrape along the surface here and here, and that really makes a big difference where the machine doesn't have to work as hard while pulling the wood through. From my experience using this, less is more, so go very easy, take just a little bit of a material at a time, otherwise the machine kind of clogs, and it's really then takes more time than if you go slow. So I kind of, when you push on this stick, you can kind of feel like a click, so I just go like 1, maximum 2 clicks, and the bigger the board, the less you do this. And as again, I will be using this very large demonstration piece, so you see what can be done here, and I will be kind of helping the wood a little bit, because with a piece like this, the rollers will have a hard time pulling it through. Here we have our beam squared and jointed, and you can see it's reasonably square, you know, from a rough cut lumber to quite a nice looking beam. You know, in a very small workshop, I think it's not so bad. The wood chip extraction is so-so. You can see that just after running this one beam, there's a lot of mess around. Most of the shavings go into the shop-vac, but it cannot be expected to run clean. Here I'm trying to demonstrate running an extra long board through the thicknesser. I just place the board in and I crank the handle until the knife starts to cut. Obviously you're not gonna remove twist out of the boards like this, but other than that it's quite doable, and this actually works quite nicely. That's about it. The thicknesser works rather well. The jointer is limited by the flimsy fence and the small table size, but if you are limited by space, it's very handy that you can take this and store it. It's quite light to move around, and the price is also better than if you get two separate machines. And if you are aware of the downsides, I think go for it and buy this one or any that are similar in concept from different brand. So there you have it, and see you next time. Bye!